tired when we're quiet, and then when we're busy, fine. Morning, Steve, Ronnie, Thomas, and Bart. And I can start the recording, introduce you, and we can go straight into the EstatetX project. We've got plenty of time, 90 minutes today, so.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Yeah, let's go for it.
Record and introduce you, and we can get going. Okay, good evening to the WellCoin Talk community. Today we have an AMA with EstatetX. Here to speak about the project is Bart, Thomas, Ronnie, and Steve, to name some of the team. So if we could start with the core team's background and experience with crypto, guys, that'd be great.
All right, cool. So my name's Thomas. I'm the CEO of EstatetX. I'm here joined with Bart, which is my co-founder, as well as the COO of EstatetX. Apart from Bart, we have Ronnie Huss and Steve Beckford from marketing/business development agency Beckford Huss. Yeah, I just want to tell everybody in the beginning, like these guys, yeah, they're doing an amazing job helping us out, spreading the EstatetX vision, and really taking EstatetX from level 1 to level 10. I mean, so a little bit about myself. I've been in the crypto space since late 2014, early 2015. I've always had an interest in the market and the underlying blockchain technologies. So yeah, I started investing late 2014, early 2015, did pretty well. But then at the end of 2018, got absolutely wrecked when Bitcoin dipped 85%. However, this didn't stop me from having an interest in the market, and hence why 2 years later, which is already 2 years ago, me and Bart, we founded EstatetX, because yeah, just the current real estate market, it's not functioning properly. And me and Bart, we made a connection with the blockchain to fractionalize real estate assets and fractionalize it. Yeah, the connection was pretty easy made, and we're very thrilled to tell you guys all about it in the upcoming AMA.
Yeah, so my name is Bart. I'm the COO of EstatetX and the co-founder. Like Thomas said, we founded this together 2 years ago, and I've been working on it ever since. It's not a project that we launched a couple of months ago and trying to do a token sale. Actually, a funny story. We thought initially when we came up with the idea that we could launch this like within a month or within 2 months. We just thought, okay, we just need to have a platform. We need to have real estate assets. We're a supplier of real estate assets, and then we can just start and offer it to the public. And then reality check comes around the corner, and then of course you need to comply with a lot of legalities. And since then, actually, we've been validating concepts, working with industry experts, just laying brick on brick on brick and just building this idea out from where it is now. So a little bit about my background. I've been in crypto since late 2018, when Thomas actually introduced me to blockchain technology and to Bitcoin. And he convinced me absolutely about the underlying idea and the technology and what you could do with it. I've been an entrepreneur myself for 4 or 5 years now. I've had some successful e-commerce companies. I was running web shops, did supply of that, and it was quite well. So entrepreneurship always had my attention. And it was when I talked with Thomas and our friends couldn't get into housing, and Thomas and I have always discussed business ideas. And when you discuss business ideas, of course, you think also about real estate. It's the biggest industry in the world, and it's where most people have gotten success of. So we thought, okay, but then how could we access the real estate market? And it was just impossible, because what we saw is that the housing market has more than doubled in the past decade here in the Netherlands. It was inaccessible for us and for the majority of people. And then we just came up with the idea, but hey, if we would link blockchain to the housing market, we could fractionalize real estate assets, we could divide them into tokens, and then we can make real estate accessible for everyone. And since then, we just start validating, working out the concepts, We've built a great team since then, a great advisory board. And yeah, we've put layer on layer on layer, instant liquidity solution, instant loan solution, making investing in real estate possible from €100, education program. And it was late November when we came across Ronnie and Steve from Backfoot Horse Marketing. And since then we have fueled like a rocket.
Hi, my name's Steve. Steve Beckford, one half of Beckford Huss, co-founder alongside my business partner Ronnie Huss. So a little bit about myself, just quickly. I'm a technology entrepreneur and inventor. So I was the first person back in 2003 to put a motion sensor inside an MP3 player. This is before any mobile device, any mobile phone, cell phone, or any iPad had a motion sensor inside it. It did really well. Did all the sales, the marketing, the distribution, all myself. It was like a one-man band. Got into small to medium retailer stores, and it was kind of like, it's called the My Shake. So you can shake it to shuffle, you could shake it to change the tracks, you could interact and play games with a motion sensor, first of its kind. Probably about a year and a half later, Steve Jobs announced in his keynote presentation that he was launching something called the iPod Nano with shake to shuffle technology, which completely blew me out of the water. A lot of people said that Steve Jobs copied me. I don't think he did. I think he had that technology way before I even thought of it, but that gave me the confidence as not just an entrepreneur, but as a businessman to continue on that business path, developing innovative products and consumer goods, which is what I went on to do. I invented a innovative headphone brand. We basically wanted to do something different because the headphone brand was completely saturated and there was such big competition. So we wanted to be a big fish in a small pond, not a small fish in a big pond. So we decided to monitor the market trends and see, what the future would be. And then we saw that fashion and technology would most likely fuse together. So we created the world's first fashion headphones, the first technology company to partner with Swarovski, the first in-ear headphones to be featured at London Fashion Week. We're very proud to say we sold millions of units worldwide in over 50 different countries, and it's to date the most successful British headphone brand in history. Basically we had endorsements from like major celebrities like Calvin Harris, Rita Ora, Ali Mers, Sam Smith, just to name a few. We had some great success. I met Ronnie during that time. And Ronnie came on board as a consultant, business development manager within the headphone company. We were friends before that. And it just made sense for us to align from a business point of view. So he jumped on one of my projects. We both took the headphones to the next level, and then from them we became business partners, and we developed various award-winning consumer goods and technologies. Again, selling worldwide. I'm not saying all of this to impress you, but just to impress upon you that the team that we have as with Beckford Huss is not just myself and Ronnie. We built a really strong team, and we're bringing all of this to EstatetX, a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, skill sets, and even most importantly, industry contacts as well. We have the experience closing the big deals. We have the contacts with the big newspapers, worldwide media publications, A-list celebrities, all of which that we're going to be utilizing within EstatetX. Probably about 10-15 years into entrepreneurial success, people are asking us, just about 5 years ago from now, people are asking us, who you've done it again with the headphones, you've done it again with all the other award-winning products, these brands that you've taken worldwide that have been your own from scratch. Who does your branding? Who does your marketing? Who does your business development? And I was like, well, it's myself. It's my business partner, our in-house team. And we didn't realize it at the time because, you sometimes you feel like you're just so focused in business. We grew exponentially over the last 10-15 years. So we've got an in-house team of graphic designers, website developers, marketing specialists, business development managers, project managers, and so on and so forth. Everything we've done is in-house, and like that whole team is now working on EstatetX. So fast forward to literally a year and a half ago, we got approached by a company called, you may have heard of them, Victoria VR. They're the world's first photorealistic metaverse. Now, keeping in mind, metaverses have only been a thing for a short period of time. So back then, in a year and a half ago, they literally, nobody had heard of a metaverse. But again, monitoring the trends, seeing obviously the future, we knew that obviously metaverses would be huge. We were the first marketing company to market worldwide metaverse, and it did very well. We did their branding, we did their brand messaging, we did the pitch decks, the white papers, helped with the tokenomics, we did the giveaways, we did the social media marketing, we did the community growth, we did the website, even the business development strategies, and we're still on the board from consultancy as well. We're very proud to say that when we launched on KuCoin a few months ago, we won 170x. So we took them from 2 million to being worth 350 million, which was a great success. And we've taken all of the skill sets, all of the knowledge, all of the plans that created that 170x coin just a few months ago, and we're implementing that into EstatetX also. We're expecting even bigger results with EstatetX, just because the potential of EstatetX is absolutely huge, and we're doing a lot more. We're a lot more hands-on with EstatetX as well. So we're taking what we've learned and we're putting it on steroids as well. The great thing about EstatetX is, one, Thomas and Bart, great guys, genuine. The whole team's fully doxed, but most importantly, they've been working on this for like years, for a couple of years. How many companies out there in crypto do you see that they've literally had an idea a few months ago and then they're already starting to pre-sell? They may not have looked into legalities, they may not have just gone through the normal bumps that you go through as an entrepreneur, as a business owner in the first year or two. Thomas and Bart has literally done all the research. They've literally learned all the lessons, they've adapted, and they've got all the legalities in place so that they're literally ready to launch now, which is great, because we only want to pair and partner with businesses that are with strong foundations. We're very fortunate as Beckford Huss Marketing never to have had to advertise ourselves online, never to have to market ourselves. We actually never even once sat down and became a marketing firm. It was literally just on the back of our success, people seeing what we've done with our headphones, with our other technologies that we've done, and the awards that we got, that they wanted us to do their marketing for us. And it was a bit weird at first because we're not a marketing firm. But then when they started obviously really kind of insisting, then we actually started doing that through our personal network, and it's just grown from there. Everybody that we work with has been through word of mouth recommendations. We've worked with top UK universities. We've done things with Premier League football teams, NBA basketball teams, worked with A-list celebrities, and TeamSpeak, which is Discord's biggest competitor, like the biggest communication for esports game. We did all their marketing and their business development. Asus Computers, we've grown their social media exponentially. So yeah, we're very proud to be members of EstatetX now. We're very happy to be on this project, and because myself and Ronnie are so hands-on, we only take on a small amount of projects. So this is our main priority at the moment. We've been doing this for the last 6 months. We've got some amazing world domination plans that we can't wait to share with you on this AMA. And as we said before, all of our experience over the last 20 years of our international marketing, because EstatetX is way more than just a crypto company. It is an international company. It is a registered company. It is a legitimate company, and most importantly, it appeals to the whole world, not just to the crypto audience, which obviously we'll get into in this AMA. So I won't take up the mic anymore. I'll pass you over to my co-founder and business partner, Ronnie.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, I'm Ronnie Huss, co-founder and business partner of Steve at Beckford Huss. My roots really lie within the property market. I started off as a commercial property consultant in London, working in Mayfair, helping organizations locate and source new offices, hedge funds dispose of offices and properties, and also new developments being built, and to have them filled with people. It was after 9/11 when the property market decided to crash. No one wanted to be in a central city office. I took that opportunity to follow one of my other passions, which was technology. I went off to university, studied e-business, where I was then sponsored through my master's in supply chain management. Following that, I was working with the University of Warwick, one of the most prestigious universities in the UK, as a bridge to commerce. We were pioneers of the SaaS revolution, so that's software as a service, or the on-demand revolution, and launched a consultancy firm that did very well. And it was after I exited that I joined forces with Steve, where we went on to create several brands and launch them to international success in over 40 countries, selling millions of units. In the last couple of years, I've been spearheading Beckford Huss Capital, a new division of our company, and that's focused on working with those high net worths, the financial institutions, and various family offices to help them source various commodities and off-market properties. So when the EstatetX opportunity came across our desk, I'm sure you can imagine I was quite excited. It really ticked a lot of boxes for my key experience, the contacts, and my passions. So myself and Steve spoke with Thomas and Bart several times. We really understood their vision, the hard work that the guys had put in already. And that's a key thing. These guys, we haven't just launched this token yesterday. This is what you're seeing now is the result of 2 years of hard work, a lot of sweat and pain that the guys have gone through to get us here. But we saw the project, we saw the vision, and we shared it. And we knew that we had to join these guys because together we could really take this and smash it out the park. That was 6 months ago. We're now 2 pre-sales in, having sold out the first 2 in just a couple of minutes. I'm really excited for what the future holds and how we can really take this project forwards.
Yeah, thanks very much for a great intro there from the team. So, like's been said, you're creating a fractionalized ownership of real-world property investments. I'm wondering what sort of real estate purchases you're planning, like maybe city properties, retail, office, holiday destinations, popular holiday destinations that could maybe be rented out to create a passive income for investors. Can we go into some of how it's going to work for investors and the passive income?
Yeah, of course. So just a little bit, just a quick summary of what the project actually holds. So like the vision me and Bart developed 2 years ago, like the vision Steve and Ronnie now share, is in essence like making investing in real estate simple, accessible, and affordable to everyone, everywhere. By the power of blockchain. So what we do at EstatetX is we digitize and we fractionalize real estate assets and store them on the blockchain. And I can hear you thinking, like, why would you do that? Well, this allows for 2 things. On the one hand, this allows for fractional ownership, reducing the entry barriers for a property. Well, here in the Netherlands, a property is over 400K on average, vastly inaccessible for the majority of people. With fractional ownership, through the power of the blockchain, we can lower this barrier to €100. In addition, because the ownership is stored in the form of digital tokens, it's very easy to swap around with different investors. Hence why the liquidity part is also a very, very big part in our ecosystem. So the 2 main things is the fractional ownership and the greatly reduced entry barriers, as well as the liquidity part of it. So in theory, you can have you can buy a real estate asset today and sell it tomorrow and enjoy 1 day of revenue and buy actual bricks for your money. Those are the 2 main aspects of EstatetX, among some other very interesting parts of the business. For example, like instant loans and instant liquidity and paying with your real estate that we'll get into in detail in this AMA.
Great. Yeah, I don't know how you'd like to do it. Maybe as a presentation at the start, and then we can. I've got 2 pages of questions here, but yeah, if you want to go into more details for the investors.
Sure. So as Thomas mentioned, our key goal and our key vision here is to make the ability for someone for real estate investment to be simple, easy, affordable, and accessible to everyone. There are so many challenges in the world today when someone's looking to buy a property, let alone an investment property that they can earn a passive income on, but even one for themselves. The barriers are so high, it costs so much, and that price doesn't look as if it's coming down anytime soon. I mean, I know I get some friends, their parents go to them, why don't you just go and buy a property? When I was your age, I had a property. Well, at their age, it was $30,000 for a property. Now you're looking at almost $600,000 in London if you're considering something that's not a shoebox. So we really look to break down those barriers to make it accessible. And through the fractional ownership, we're able to do that so that people are able to invest in real estate with as little as $100 and really be able to get those benefits that have typically only been reserved for the wealthy, high net worths and financial institutions. There's no need for credit checks. There's no need for mortgage applications. It's very, very simple. It's very, very straightforward. We're literally going to make it as easy to buy a fraction of property as it is to buy your online shopping. One of the key things to mention as well is that we're a real business. This is a registered company. We're a real business solving a real business need. It's not a meme coin. It's addressing real solutions that are there in the mainstream. And that's important. So although we are underlying with crypto, we're not a crypto company. Crypto and blockchain is there as an enabler so that we can achieve what we want to achieve and create this opportunity literally for everyone. And so we'll talk about it a bit as we go along as well, but obviously a fundamental element of what we're doing is education. And we need to educate people both in the importance of generating a passive income, the difference between liabilities and assets, but also obviously why this blockchain solution is going to benefit them and why they should take part. Again, inherent problems that are with property that people have that we've identified is if you do have that, if you are lucky enough to have that second property, if you need to release any cash from that to maybe you have an emergency expense or you need to pay for something that was unprepared, it's a very long and cumbersome process for you to sell that property. And it's quite costly as well. You've got to have obviously appraisals, valuers, more agent fees, even. So there's a lot that you need to pay and consider, and it can take a long time. So the benefit of fractional ownership and by putting it on the blockchain is that you're able to then liquefy what has inherently been a very illiquid asset almost in real time. And this gives huge opportunities and what we've done as well is to build on that. So not only can you just make your real estate investments instantly liquid, but we're introducing a solution called EstatetX Pay. And this is a DeFi off-ramp. So similar to what Crow's Card's doing, Binance, where you're able to use your crypto and a debit card to pay for things at point of purchase, we're going to make it possible so that you can use your actual real estate investments and only liquefy them when you need the capital released from that to pay for those goods and services at the point of purchase. And again, unlike a property where in real life, where you have to, obviously, if you want to sell it, you have to sell all of it, or you have to remortgage it. That's going to be quite a timely procedure to get your money. The blockchain, our secondary marketplace that we're creating, will enable you to sell just a fraction of that for what you need at that particular moment in time and release that capital, rather than having to sell your entire property and potentially making a loss. So this is really revolutionary, and it really is the holy grail of real estate investment, being able to have that instant liquidity on your real estate. Something, again, sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just to say, I mean, if you consider like similar sort of things that may be in the market already in the traditional sense of the world, you've got real estate investment trusts or REITs. These are where obviously it's got a high barrier of entry to start with anyway. I mean, you're probably talking $5,000 to $10,000 just to get in. You give your money to the investment manager, and then you're completely in the hands of that investment manager. They're making the decision of where your money is going, what investments it's going in, what sort of properties and the returns you're going to get. We're turning that on its head. So again, taking down that barrier of entry, so you can get involved, or anyone can get involved anywhere around the world with only $100. They're going to be able to purchase a piece of real estate investment that earns them a passive income. You're also empowered to choose where your investment goes. You're not at the mercy of this investment manager. You're going to be presented with a whole range of different property options in different locations around the world. And you can choose specifically where your investment is going and what sort of returns you're looking for. And these will be a wide range of properties, ranging from residential to commercial, sustainable, agricultural, really anything and everything that's there and is generating a passive income. To add to that with the REITs, another issue with that is obviously if you want to take your money out, well, even before you take your money out, before you start seeing a return, you're probably looking at maybe 3 months, 6 months before they start paying out. With EstatetX, what's really smart about this is once you have that fractional ownership of the property, when we receive the rent at the end of the month, rather than just dispersing that in one go to everyone, we're going to be basically using that money, which will be typically received in fiat, to purchase ESX back off the market and then to seed it out to the property token holders on a daily basis. So the really exciting thing about this is when you purchase one of those property tokens, you're going to be starting to realize that passive income from day one. Also, another issue with the REIT is If you wanted to take your capital out of there at any time, typically there's going to be some sort of penalty charge, which would most likely eliminate most of the gains that you've realized. We're making real estate investment liquid. So you can literally take whatever you need out and make that liquid and turn it into instant cash as you need without any sort of penalty charges at all. So this is a really exciting project. As I said, it really addresses real world issues, solves the problems that many people have around the world. And we can see it really being a revolutionary force for the future.
Okay, great. So yeah, you're going to make the EstatetX a governance with a down voting rights for investors to look into what to buy and sell in the real estate that you invest in.
Yeah, so that's going to be a part. So we're going to have, there's two tokens that we have. So the one token is the Proplex token. And this is like an NFT. And this represents your ownership of a real world physical asset. So let's say that we purchase a property for $1 million. We'll then break that up into 10,000 different chunks of $100 each, which then people are able to buy one or as many as they wish. And from that, that represents their ownership of that physical building in the real world. And the price of that building is obviously based on the real world currency. So this is also quite exciting, unlike a lot of other crypto projects, that we're not dependent on the market sentiment or the price of Bitcoin. The money or the token is pegged really against a real world asset with real world value. So the Proplex token, as I said, that represents your ownership, and from that you'll be paid the rent. And so that passive income is then paid in ESX tokens. And as I mentioned before, that would then be paid daily to all of the Proplex token holders. There's a wide range of utility that we're building into that ESX token. And as you rightly said, that ESX token is going to be the governance token. It's going to be the DAO, because we're creating this for a community. We want to create a self-governing, self-motivating, self-growing economy and ecosystem within the property that's driven by its owners and its investors. So a lot of decisions will be made by the DAO with regards to property investment decisions, and in the way in which the company evolves.
Great. And are you looking to rent most of the real estate that you buy, or would you look at maybe timeshares for investors, Airbnb, where they can actually visit the properties if they're in popular holiday destinations?
Primarily, we're looking at these as real estate investments. So they're going to be those that are generating a passive income, either through tenancy, whether that's residential or commercial. As we move forwards, obviously, I know that Bart and Thomas have been talking to people to tokenize office space. So allowing people to even use their ESX tokens to contribute towards rent within certain offices. But as I said, the key thing here is as an investment with a secure return. And the best way to do that, obviously, is tenanted properties that are tenanted most of the time. The challenge with timeshares and things like that is it's not generating that constant income. We can't guarantee that as much as we can with other sorts of investments.
And with the instant loans for holders of the token ESX, how does that work? And maybe they can, as they're saving up in the future, you're looking at maybe get mortgages through sort of investment.
No, it's a great question. So what will happen is it's actually the Proplex token. So because the Proplex token represents your share of ownership within the real world physical property, and it's based on the blockchain, we're able to use that to leverage finance off it. So using that ultimately as security, we'll be able to provide instant and permissionless loans up to 75% of the value of that Proplex token. Now, what savvy investors would do then is they would release that 75% in a loan as smart debt and use it to purchase additional Proplex tokens, which will continue to earn them that passive income. In the unlikely event that they're unable to afford the repayments, obviously because this is on the blockchain and it's digital, we'd be able to take that token back and to sell it on the market to pay off their debt.
And like you say, because you're owning the real world assets, then that's supporting the EstatetX price based on all the value of the real world assets that you purchase.
Exactly.
Okay, and can we go into the ESX Pay? You can use ESX for goods and services web shops in the future for investors?
Sure. So it's going to be taken beyond web shops. So it's really innovative discussions we've been having now. So the EstatetX Pay solution is actually going to be like a debit card that you're able to use at the point of purchase, whether you're buying goods, services, you're shopping, your petrol, and you're able then to instantly use your ESX tokens that will convert it into fiat to make that payment. Taking it even a step further, what we're going to be able to do is to have your Proplex token, so your real estate investment, you'll be able to have that instantly liquefied into an ESX token, which is then instantly converted into fiat, specifically at the point of purchase. So what's really exciting about this, and I know this is what I'd be doing, is I would put every month when I receive my salary into the Proplex tokens and purchase real estate investment. It's simple, it's easy to do, and it's going to be generating me that passive income from day one. Then whenever I need to buy any goods and services, I can simply just use my EstatetX Pay, and it would liquefy a fraction of my portfolio to release that money to pay for the goods and services at that point of purchase. So this is really giving that holy grail of real estate investment, of instant liquidity on what has traditionally been a very illiquid asset.
So the EstatetX Pay will have virtual and physical credit cards in the future in certain countries, or are you looking to go international?
International, absolutely. Again, partnerships with likes of Visa or MasterCard gives us that network that we're able to pay for goods and services anywhere in the world where card payments are accepted.
And you are planning staking features, so I'm wondering if you're going to do the credit cards a bit like Crow, where you can get cash back 1-2% if you lock and stake your EstatetX tokens in the future.
Yes, so staking is definitely a part of what we're doing, specifically for pre-sale holders. So these are people who've obviously purchased the tokens in the pre-sale event. We're giving them the exclusive opportunity of golden token staking. And what this involves is they'll get a 20% APY straight away when they choose to stake their tokens. As I said, this will only be available exclusively to the pre-sale holders. But unlike a lot of other projects where when you choose to stake your tokens, they're locked away for a year or so and you can't do anything with them, we really value our pre-salers. I mean, they're the ones who are going to make this vision a reality. They're the ones who've got us to where we are now. And we really want to give them everything we can. So as a reward for that and for the staking, we don't want them to miss out on any of the opportunities as we bring the properties online. So people who stake their tokens from the pre-sale, in addition to getting that 20% bonus, they'll have the opportunity once properties come online and we've got it all fully regulated and licensed by the regulatory authorities, they'll be able to use their stake tokens to invest in those specific properties. So there won't be any sort of delay and they won't be missing out on any opportunities.
And I think you've got legal partners for property purchases and sales lined up for the project, have you? And which sort of countries are you looking to go into? And say over the first couple of quarters, how many sort of retail properties are you looking to purchase?
One of the great things about our model is we've actually got a hybrid mechanism here for bringing properties into the ecosystem. So part of that is obviously through the pre-sale, we're going to be raising funds that will allow us to purchase properties. We're initially going to start within Europe. It's our home ground. It's what we know best, and it's where we have the best connections. So we'll be looking to invest in various properties to bring them into the ecosystem. However, as I mentioned, it's a hybrid solution. So what that enables us means that other people, property holders, people with a large portfolio of properties, asset managers and the likes, are able to then tokenize their properties either in whole or in part and bring those fractional ownership elements into the EstatetX ecosystem, allowing our community to invest in those properties also. This gives us the opportunity to rapidly scale the business internationally. I know even from the activity that we've been doing and the connections we have, I mean, Thomas can talk about this a bit more. We're already being approached by huge organizations, huge developers, wanting us to help them to do this, wanting us to bring their properties to our community.
Great. And what's the timeline for the governance and the DAO? At first, will it be like experts on the team that are picking the real estate to buy?
That's correct. To start with, it would be very much led by the property advisors in the team, understand the opportunity, we'll have independent valuations, and it would be led by us. But as the project evolves, obviously we're empowering the DAO to be able to make those decisions, to support those decisions, and even to make suggestions themselves of properties that we believe we should bring into the EstatetX ecosystem.
Will you look at sort of properties that need renovating and then selling for a profit short term, or are you mainly going to buy sort of new builds and rent them out?
Yep, no, that would be, well, it'd be new builds, it would be existing buildings, but also there'll be the opportunity for people to support developers and to invest in projects before they've even been built. Obviously, there's a slightly higher risk there, but the returns will be much higher. One of the key things that we're doing is education and transparency. So we're going to make sure that every investor is fully informed before making that decision on where they choose to invest their money, in what sort of property, with what sort of risk price profile, and with which sort of returns.
Okay, and you plan the EstatetX education program as well with podcasts for investors?
Yeah, the education program's very exciting and we feel necessary. And I mean, I'll hand over to Steve to let him talk a little bit more about that.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, I think it's frozen.
Then, but I think it might have cut out for a second. Steve, maybe come back to me.
Yeah, jumping back in. Here he is.
All right, sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, I can hear everybody clear now. Right, so we're talking about the educational side of things. We believe that the education, obviously the EstatetX plan is absolutely huge, and the real world case and utilities is amazing. But to add to that, the education side of things, I really feel it's going to take it over the level. There's going to be two different types of education programs. One is going to be for the EstatetX holders. So anybody who purchases EstatetX, you'll have access to your unique dashboard. You can go in and you can watch bite-sized chunks of videos of real estate investments, why we're making certain choices, what choices that you can make. Because the great thing about the EstatetX platform is, unlike traditional property investment, is that you can invest in multiple properties at the same time. Even if you have a small amount of money, you can put $100 in a developing over here in New York, you can do $100 in London over here, you can do $100 over there in the Netherlands, and you can actually diversify your portfolio with many different types of investments, some of the ones that you mentioned earlier, Glyn. So we want to obviously be making sure that people are confident with the investments that they're getting into. So we want to be, not only are we going to have support groups and obviously the Telegram, we're going to be having podcasts, we're going to be having live sessions, but most importantly, we're going to be having a streaming platform, just kind of like a little small educational YouTube where you can actually download and play like a podcast, or whether you're listening to music, or whether you're in the kitchen, or whether you're chilling or you're traveling, or alternatively you can just obviously watch it whenever at your own leisure. We want to make the courses small, simple and bite-sized, and there's a few things that we want to touch upon. Obviously, one is about real estate investment, which is really going to help out with the EstatetX side of things. Two is going to be how to utilize the instant loans and instant liquidity, kind of like what Ronnie touched upon before. How the rich do. A lot of people think that multimillionaires will buy their whole property portfolio with their money because they're millionaires. That's not actually true. They actually buy with other people's money. They use the bank's money. The rich understand how to use good debt into diversifying their portfolio, doubling their portfolio, increasing their assets, and then using that to pay off for their liabilities. we want to be teaching those methods to our holders as well. Utilize the great thing about being on the blockchain is the instant liquidity means that you can get instant loans within seconds. We wouldn't have to worry about your credit rating or anything else like that. Everything is all obviously taken care of and supported by the blockchain. So we will empower people how to utilize that to their advantage, as opposed to how we've been told in the system to utilize loans and credit cards, which actually is to our disadvantage, which gets us into more debt, which doesn't allow us to get onto the property ladder and then puts us into a self-perpetuating cycle. So we really do see the importance of educating people that the things that we didn't learn in school when we were growing up, the importance of financial literacy, the importance of generating passive income, the importance of investing, you know what I mean? And as I mentioned before, the instant loans, the instant liquidity. School is great for certain things, but when it comes to this sort of stuff, you know, there's a massive gap in people's education. We do see that school is more indoctrination than education. And what I mean by that is school teaches you how to be an employee. It gets you ready to be an employee and to work for somebody else. It doesn't really teach you how to work for yourself, and it definitely doesn't teach you how to be your own boss or how to make passive income. We're taught and ingrained in society that the harder we work, the more hours we work, the more money that we're going to make. But it doesn't actually have to be like that. The rich, they don't work hard, they work smart, and they have their investments. There's so many people that don't even truly fully know the difference between an asset and a liability. And I was one of them a few years ago, and it's like really eye-opening when you actually really see it, because it's very easy to say, oh yeah, I understand investments and stuff like that, but it's not actually ingrained into us. It's not something that we actively look for every day to be able to say, okay, how am I going to increase my passive income this week? How am I going to actually utilize my assets versus liability to increase my assets so they actually pay for my liabilities? How am I going to do this? These are things that aren't ingrained in us in school, so we don't think like that. We're more geared into getting into debt than actually to making passive income. So the educational program is huge, because we want to obviously retrain people and let them, empower them, to give them the option to be able to become their own boss, to be able to create passive income, and most importantly, to be able to make the most of this amazing EstatetX platform. Now, the other side of the education side of things is going to be community based. It's going to be, we want to be going out into inner city communities. We want to be going out into developing countries, and we want to be educating people. We want to be utilizing, we have a percentage of the revenue in the tokenomics for charity. And we feel like this is really going to be revolutionary, because there's so much things happening with the governments that they're pulling things from like youth centers, and then obviously kids, teenagers, they don't really have as much to do, so they might get into trouble on the streets or go down the routes of gangs or whatever. But if we can actually be empowering communities to be able to say, well, actually, this is actually crypto, this is how you can set up a wallet, this is how you can make passive income through real estate, this is how, even beyond and separate to EstatetX, this is the importance of financial literacy, this is how you can create passive income, this is the difference between an asset and a liability. It really can change lives. So we're looking to do educational programs that's going to be great for the communities. And then we're looking to go out to developing countries. In the future, we'll be building schools, giving them computer equipment, showing them how they too can actually be getting onto the blockchain, showing actually how they can be creating passive income, donating ESX tokens to them, and just allowing people that opportunity to create their generational wealth. So the education side of things is something that's really, really exciting from our point of view, because we do believe that just most countries in the world, there's a massive gap between the rich and the poor, and one of the many reasons is the gap between the rich and the poor, it being so big, is because of knowledge. And we want to obviously kind of bridge that gap by giving people and empowering people with the knowledge to be able to take their income and their investments and their financial literacy to the next level, utilizing EstatetX.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there is problems over the next few years. There's huge inflation across the Western world, and I think mortgage rates, like we had in the UK in the 1980s, could come back, and there could be a lot of defaults and repossessions, which is not a problem for EstatetX. They could actually scoop up retail in the future. So how are you sort of hedging against crashes in the market as well as rises in the future?
Exactly, 100%.
Okay,
No, just basically saying it's a good point that you brought up as well. And just with EstatetX, we're always going to be forward thinking, especially with the investments that we even bring to shortlist for the DAO. And there's been massive crashes with the property market, but there's certain developments, there's certain areas that still stay strong. So we want to be making sure that we're going to be doing our proper research. We have, as you guys know, property specialists within the team. So all of the properties, all of the developments are going to be future proof and going to be minimizing the risk and obviously maximizing the opportunity of our investors to get return on investment, because it's not just making money on the token when the property rises, but also making a passive income from the rent. As Ronnie was saying, it's daily income, not just monthly income or yearly income. It's daily rental income that you guys are getting. So it's true passive income that can really change people's lives, as well as the EstatetX Pay, where you're going to be saving money, where you can be paying for your groceries, paying for your fuel, paying for your your electricity bills. Like, everybody's experiencing high gas prices, high fuel prices at the moment. Everybody's experiencing high electric light bills, high electricity prices, and all of this is. Imagine if you could actually pay for this or pay off chunks of this with your a fraction of your real estate portfolio instantly.
Awesome, yeah. And I'm just wondering about the security around the real world property assets that you purchase. In the future, someone on the team could sell some of the portfolio or something. What are you building in place so that nothing untoward happens?
Yeah, of course. So each property, in essence, will have an SPV created for it. So it's a special purpose vehicle. And while EstatetX will be the administrator of this, ultimately the shares of that is what's represented within the Proplex tokens. So without the underlying permission and authority of the DAO, that property won't be able to be sold or to be taken out of the EstatetX ecosystem, and we wouldn't be able to mortgage it or to take any finance off it, because it has those liens on it from the Proplex token that's secured against it.
I think you're planning NFT series, but is that basically around the fractionalization or something else as well?
So, well, there's two elements of the NFTs. In essence, so going back to the example of purchasing that property for $1 million, when we fractionalize that into the 10,000 chunks of $100, those tokens are in essence NFTs. They're unique and they represent a piece of ownership within there. However, what we're doing as well is we're actually launching a very exclusive range of collectible NFTs with utility that I'll let Steve talk a little bit more about now.
Yeah, we were really excited about the first season 1 EstatetX Skyscraper collection. It's something that has been really in high demand for our community, and we kind of dropped a little announcement that a couple of months ago, just near pre-sale 1, to be able to say that that's what we're going to be doing. And everybody's been honest since, like, oh, when can we see a sneak peek? How can we know about the utilities? How can we know about the perks? So the community was very pleased to know that we made a little announcement a couple of days ago. So on our Telegram group, you can see, and I don't know if you guys have got it, maybe you can put it into the chat. I think I sent it into your group earlier, but if not, head over to the Telegram group, you'll be able to see more about it. But I'll give you a brief description of what it is now, because we're quite excited about it. We always like to kind of reward and appreciate our community, because as the guy said earlier, we're nothing without our community. We really are community first. That is the ethos and the mission statement of EstatetX anyway, and how we want to impact communities in the world. But also it starts with our own community, our own family, everybody who's invested in us, everybody who's trusted us, everybody who's had the gumption to jump on this in the very, very early stages at the ground level. So as a reward for those people who are purchasing extra tokens, we want to give a bonus. So we've got a limited edition NFT collection, and there's an interactive, innovative way that we've incorporated into this as well. We're also going to have a display platform for the NFT, so you can actually display your buildings. So when you buy like a building, you would actually get a digital representation to be able to put onto display. So let's say over time you buy 5 NFTs, you can actually build your own skyline. So you can build a beautiful looking skyline. It can be utilized as as a status symbol. You can be utilized as your profile picture, show off with your friends. But most importantly, the bigger your skyline, the more utilities and perks that you'll unlock. With the NFTs themselves, they're going to be quite rare, because we want our holders to actually benefit from the increase in value of these NFTs as well. We see some NFTs projects going crazy, and these NFTs are going through the roof. One of the main reasons is, well, two of the main reasons is for an NFT to increase is on the commercial market is, one, for it to be rare. you can't have like 1 of a million or whatever, and 2, for it to actually have good marketing behind it, and 3, for it to actually have good use cases and utility. We believe that we do have that whole trilogy, and we're really excited to be launching this soon. So anybody who purchases at least $1,000 worth of ESX tokens, you'll get for free 1 limited edition, 1 of 250 NFT. And then you'll also get 5% worth of ESX tokens instantly as a bonus. If you buy, the next price brace comes at $5,000, where you'll get a limited NFT of 1 of 100. Then you'll also get 10% of bonuses. The next break is at 10K, where you'll get a limited rare NFT of 1 of 50, and you'll also get a 15% bonus. And then it goes up all the way to 50K, where you get literally very rare, the lucky people, 1 of 3. NFT, and you will also get a massive 25% instant bonus. So we really do like to reward our customers and our valuable community members. And you know, it doesn't really matter if you don't get an NFT this time. We're going to be launching other collections, and you know, the minimum price is $200 to get in. The maximum price is $50. We appreciate everybody from the family, even the ones that don't invest, that are just part of the community. We have a great referral scheme, which I'll let Ronnie talk to you about in a second. But with the back to the NFTs for a second, even if you purchase $1,000 worth, 1 of 250 is a really rare NFT still. If you go on OpenSea, it is 1 of 10,000, 1 of 100,000. You know, it's a crazy demand. Having 1 of 250 with great utility, great use cases, and great marketing behind it, and that innovative nature of building your own skyline, we really do believe that these NFTs are going to rocket in value, and we're going to put a great marketing behind these, and we're going to be bringing in new people to the EstatetX community through the NFT market as well. So it's going to be a great marketing initiative, but most importantly, it's going to help actually give return on investment, because you know, somebody purchases something for 1,000 or 1,000 tokens, within a few months that NFT could be worth close to that, if not more, we're hoping. So you know, it's a nice little incentive bonus that we want to give to our customers. And I'll let Ronnie talk about the referral scheme.
Yeah, so as we mentioned before, obviously we really value our pre-sale holders, and we're very keen to Steve, keep it on mute.
Well, yeah, so actually, Ronnie, sorry, before you actually go into that, one thing I forgot to mention is, obviously, if you head over to once you see the plans and the pictures for the NFTs, you'll obviously see a little bit more about the use cases. But just give an example of some of the use cases and the perks is that you will have golden access to the next pre-sale round. Obviously, the first pre-sale round sold out in a record-breaking 3.5 minutes. The second pre-sale round, we raised double the amount of money, selling out in. Expect this pre-sale round to be no different. So you know, a lot of people get stressed, or a lot of people get a little bit frustrated that they didn't actually manage to get their tokens in the first round or the second round. As an NFT holder, you actually get early access for several minutes before the round opens, so you can stress-free purchase your tokens and you know, guarantee what you need to get. There's also obviously various other utilities and things which obviously you can check out on our Telegram.
Excellent. So going back to the referral program, as I said, we really value our pre-salers. These are the people who helped us create this and make this vision a reality, and we really want to reward them wherever we can. We're not looking for we're not looking to go out to the masses just yet. We're keeping it within an intimate community of people who share our vision, who understand what we're doing, and want to spread the word organically. To do this, we've instigated this referral program. So it's very simple to join. Obviously, just go to the website, estatetx.eu, join the whitelist. It's currently open, and you'll get an email to invite you to the pre-sale. Once you've registered for that, you're able to go in, and you're going to be able to get your own unique referral link. Simply share this with your friends, your family, your networks, your communities. And the benefit of that is that everyone who then joins and signs up to EstatetX platform and purchases any tokens in any of the pre-sale rounds, you will earn a 7% token bonus on what they buy, and they will earn a 3% bonus. So there's an incentive for them to join using your link. So putting that into perspective, if you gave that to one friend and they purchased $1,000 worth of ESX, they'll get a bonus of $30, and you'll get a bonus of $70 worth of ESX. If you multiply that to, say, 10 friends that you invite who come in and all buy $1,000, you'll get $700 worth of ESX tokens simply by spreading this link to a couple of your friends. So, as I said, we're looking to do this organically. We're looking to create people who understand the vision and who want to grow with us as we create this revolution in real estate investment and ownership.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that you're in round 3 of the pre-sale, and there's a plan for 6 rounds altogether, I think. And what's the vesting periods for the rounds, and does it change for each pre-sale?
So the vesting period
Pretty clear.
So the vesting period's the same across all of the pre-sale rounds, and we've instigated this to prevent any sort of pump and dump. We're looking to create a solid chart that is going to be on an upward incline, going from ATH to ATH. So rather than just releasing all the tokens at once, at token generation event, we're going to give our pre-sale token holders 10% of what they've purchased. Then obviously it goes on the exchange, and the magic of the exchange happens. And there's a 4-month vesting period, or so 4-month cliff period. After that, we're going to be releasing 10% of the tokens to all of the pre-sale token holders. But again, we're going to be releasing that on a daily basis. So again, there's not going to be huge dumps and huge movement in the chart when we do this.
Great. And have you got auditing on the smart contract plan before launch or after launch? Will there be a CertiK audit in the future?
Absolutely. 100% we're going with CertiK. We've got we've got an incredible ex-Ethereum developer on the team. I know Bart can talk a little bit more about him, or Thomas. So we're making sure that the smart contracts are being done correctly and that they're going to pass the CertiK audit without any issues. And
are you going to actually have it on the website as you purchase property? Investors can look at what they've got, passive income, adapt and things like that.
Sure. We're going to be very, very transparent in everything that we do. Whenever a property is brought on, they're all going to have their own profile information. Within there, it would be detailed information about the property, its value, the return that it generates, any costs, any risks. Also, we'll have information about the area. Because there's so many factors that would impact both the price now and the price in the future, that we want to make sure that our investors are fully educated and aware of all those factors before they make that decision.
Right. And going back to the passive income, how is it distributed to the holders? I think you said, is it going to be airdrops with the EstatetX token? And when you maybe sell properties in the future, would there be larger airdrops depending on your share of that property?
Yeah, so what will happen is all of the Proplex token holders who own a share of the property, they will receive them. So at the end of the month, when we receive the rent, which will typically be in fiat, at least to start with, until crypto takes over the world, we're not going to give them everyone all of their month's rent at the same time, because giving it an opportunity for obviously everyone to sell and for it to have a negative effect on the chart. So with the rent that we receive in fiat, we're going to use that to buy ESX tokens off the market, creating an upward trend, obviously upward price pressure on there. But then we're going to seed out those tokens to those Proplex token holders. So they'll receive ESX tokens in rent on a daily basis. This is also great because it means when you then purchase a Proplex token on the secondary market, you're going to be able to earn that passive income from day one. And so it's an asset that's there that's making you money as soon as you buy it.
Okay, great. And will there be any tax on buys and sells, or are you going for a 0% tax or a low tax to get to the central exchanges?
Yeah, we've got a very low tax. It's only 1% that we're going to be charging. And that's going to be redistributed with half of it going into the real estate investment fund, so that we can then acquire new properties, and it's a self-refilling fund that will enable us to grow. And then we're also giving a proportion of that, I believe 10% of every transaction fee goes into the charitable initiatives fund.
Great. And what's the marketing plans after launch? What are you planning over the first quarter for EstatetX?
So as we said before, there's various different initiatives really. The education side of things, there's going to be a lot of marketing around that because there's going to be a lot of noise behind that. With our backgrounds and our personal connections, we have contacts with A-list celebrities, we have contacts with worldwide press. Some of the A-list celebrities are really excited to get behind this, especially when it comes to the educational side of things. Two celebrities that are within our network who we're quite confident which will be jumping on board. I can obviously say these names because you're from the UK, you know who they are: Stormzy and Anthony Joshua. And you know those two names are not small names. So basically, from the celebrity side of things, we're going to be having a lot of big A-list celebrity endorsements. We're also going to be having a lot of media attention around the celebrity side of things and the charity side of things, because we're not just going to be, just giving to a big corporation of a charity. We're actually going to be going out to the communities, to the countries, and actually documenting the whole process. So, the EstatetX family can really be part of the journey with us. We're going to be doing, we can't talk too much, but a documentary that's going to be featured on Sky TV. There's a 6-episode documentary that they want us to be part of, and then obviously all going well, we might have progressed into actually our own docu-series on Netflix, just talking about the rise of EstatetX and just the impact that it's having on the world, allowing, breaking down social barriers, breaking down the gap between the rich and the poor, and allowing anybody to purchase on the property market, no matter where you're from, no matter how much money you have, and just a revolutionary impact that we plan to have onto the world. And then obviously, we're going to keep going down the traditional crypto marketing routes, similar to what we've been doing now, but obviously on a bigger scale. But obviously from my background, Ronnie's background, and the whole Beckwith Huss team background, we specialize, for the last 20 years, we've been doing international marketing as well. So we're going to be utilizing the marketing strategies, what we did to, develop the most successful British headphone brand in history, and selling millions of award-winning, selling millions of properties around the world, and millions of technologies around the world in innovations. We're going to be doing that really. So we're going to have a worldwide marketing strategy looking to make EstatetX within the next few years a household name. We want everybody to, in the future, to be, if you think of real estate investment, you think of EstatetX, and we're really excited to launch that.
Let's open it up to the rest of the team. If anyone's got a question for EstatetX here, Ronnie and Steve.
Yeah, Glenn. Hey, I was listening in, and I loved everything I heard. And what I love most is the fractionalization, because I know some people have different opinions of it, and some have tried it, and some have been very successful with it as well. So I see that you guys have the team to actually pull this off, and it gets me excited. But anyway, so I was just thinking about your example. Say you buy the property for $1 million, you create the NFTs, and then there's a bunch of them on your website, and then whales start playing with it, right? And say somebody just happens to buy all the NFTs for one of the properties. Can he then come to you and say, look, I have all the fractions and I want to use this as an office? Or better yet, I just want it. I'll destroy my NFTs and I want my property. Is that something that's going to be possible in the future, or how will you tackle this?
Good question. In theory, they could do that, because obviously they would be the 100% owner of the property, and they would have the rights to be able to dictate what happens with that property. And they would be the receiver of all the income of that property. The way we see the market evolving, we really doubt that there's going to be a chance for someone to be able to purchase that, at least at market price. Demand, we see, is far outstripping supply. So we're fairly sure there's going to be multiple investors across multiple properties. However, should someone choose to purchase the entire property and have all the fractional ownership of it, then in essence, they own that property and they decide what they want to do with it.
Well, yeah, that sounds great. And I know it's a little, it can sound far-fetched, but we know there are wallets out there that are holding like multiple baby yacht club apes and all this, right? So what's to say that one of them won't decide, you know what, I'll just buy a house instead, right? So it's definitely something exciting to look for.
Okay, great. let's move on to investor questions now. Let's see, Syed, you had a question for the EstatetX team. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so on your white paper, I have read, and you also mentioned that EstatetX security token Proplex, which will be representing the ownership in the real estate assets. So I was wondering that what ratio of the value of the asset in USD will be to these security tokens?
100%. So, well, on the properties that we purchase for the community, it would be 100% of the security tokens would represent the value of the property. So as I mentioned, on the $1 million property, when those Proplex tokens first come onto the market, each of those 10,000 NFTs will be worth $100.
Got it. I also want to know that will the users be able to store the NFTs or the Proplex token related to the estate assets in their Trust Wallet or Metamask, or they can only store it on your D app or EstatetX wallet app?
Those you mean the Proplex security tokens?
Yeah, yeah. Where will a user will be able to store them on their Trust or Metamask wallet as well?
Thomas, do you know that? If that is possible, I know for sure that we are going to do in our own app. We're going to create wallets. So in our own dashboard, in our own app, you will have your EstatetX wallet, and in those EstatetX wallets, you can store your Proplex security tokens. I'm gonna let Thomas answer if you also can store security tokens in MetaMask or Trust Wallet. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, good question. It's definitely possible to store this in your MetaMask or in your Trust Wallet. Even taking this a step further, it's also possible to download these offline and store them on a hardware ledger.
Okay, and if the user is storing them on their Trust or MetaMask wallet and they lose the key to their wallet, so will there be any mechanism of recovering these tokens, or they won't be recoverable again?
Yeah, no. So if they're stored on the EstatetX account on your own app in our own wallets, they'll be retrievable. But if you lose them in your MetaMask, your Trust Wallet, or your hardware ledger, yeah, no, then they won't be recoverable.
Unfortunately, we cannot access MetaMask or Trust Wallet without knowing the backup phrase, of course. But I would just suggest to keep it in your EstatetX wallet, then I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. It's better to keep them in your wallet because they will be recoverable. Okay.
There's also no reason to store it in your MetaMask or your Trust Wallet, as everything will be combined in the EstatetX app. Everything will be displayed very clearly. All the trading, all the real estate, all the educational courses, all the signing of the entire platform. Everything will be run from the EstatetX app or the EstatetX platform. It will be possible, but I don't really see any reason why you would want to, because we have everything safe and secure in one place.
Yeah, I was wondering the same. So moving to my next question, on your white paper, I have read about your instant loan program. With this system, you will allow the investors of the estate security token and EstatetX stable token EURX to bond their tokens to allow for collateralized, and they can lend. They can borrow up to 75% of their total pool tokens. So it got me thinking that will the investors also be able to use their fractional shares as a collateral to receive the loan?
Yes, those are the Proplex tokens where you're talking about. So we have integrated a instantly and permissionless loaning system. So that means that you can give your Proplex tokens, so your investment in real estate, you can give those as a collateral, and you can loan up to 75% of your total investment amount. And what we want to do with that is we want to give beginning investors the opportunity, together with the education on how to use loans for your benefit, we want to give them the opportunity to almost double their portfolio with only their initial investment. So that means that you can almost double your passive income if you're a beginning investor. And that is all done on the blockchain, because thanks to the blockchain, it enables us to do it all instantly, all permissionless. If you would go to a credit provider or you would go to the bank, you would need to go to a great screening processes, paperwork. That will be probably a blood, sweat, and tears month process. And we solve that by enabling instant loans.
Understood. So just to be clear, the dividends which the investors will be getting annually or semi-annually, will they be in ESX token or will they be in your stable coin, EURX?
You mean the ROI, the daily return?
Yeah.
Yeah, those will be in ESX tokens. Because the beautiful thing about ESX is that we want to make it an accepted means of currency. And when we make it an accepted means of currency, that means that you can use ESX as a payment tool, as a payment token for your daily expenses. We're already in talks with big energy companies, with clothing stores, to make it an accepted means of currency. And in that way, you can spend your ESX. So you get a daily return, you get a daily return on investment, while at the same time you can spend those ESX tokens for your daily goods and services.
Thank you for explaining that. Moving to my final question. So I want to know that you mentioned about this EstatetX Pay app. So I was wondering that will it be NFC enabled, so user can make contactless payment using NFC technology with the EstatetX tokens?
Absolutely, and that would be built into the app as well. So it would be contactless payments they'll be able to use, as well as having a physical card.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys are building a really amazing project. And you all are also very well experienced. And I've never seen this team like this before in the crypto space. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate
that. Thank you.
Okay, great. I mean, we did have one a while ago, and it was artwork. I think they bought a Banksy, the Rat Antique token. They've done really well, adding real-world assets to a crypto token. So, yeah, real estate's a great idea as well. It'll just support the price floor of EstatetX as the portfolio builds, so it can't drop below a certain price because the real-world assets are linked to the token. And also, if the assets go up 50, 100%, then yeah, the price will rise accordingly. Let's move on to Aisha. You had a question for EstatetX team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay, on your white paper, I've read about your EstatetX education program, where you will be educating people on the topics that are necessary to know for investing and using EstatetX platform. And later you will expand it to the financial education. I want to know that how will users be able to get themselves enrolled for this education platform? Will it only be exclusive for the holders? I mean, how will it work out?
Hello? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. So, as we mentioned before, there's going to be two different levels to the education side of things, and you very correctly brought it up. It's a great question. So there's going to be obviously an EstatetX app, and obviously we have an EstatetX platform. So for the EstatetX holders, it's almost going to be like a little miniature, a little mini YouTube, so to speak. So you can have your own portal, you log in, you can see your videos, you can monitor your progress. It's going to be little short, bite-sized, easy to consume videos talking about obviously the EstatetX platform, how to utilize things from EstatetX, like the instant loans, the instant liquidity, obviously how to kind of like choose the best properties that work for your investment strategies, teaching you different investment strategies as well, because you know your style may be a little bit more long-term, somebody else's style may be a little bit more short-term, so one may be a little bit in the middle, some may be a remix of all of the three. So those are things that are going to be available to ESX holders. But then beyond that, we're going to be going out to the general public as well, to the communities, where we're going to be doing free education, where it's just more about financial literacy, less about EstatetX. Separate to that, we know that if we give, the more we give, the more we will receive. And as we said before, there's a lot of things in the education system that is missing from a financial literacy perspective. So we're going to be teaching people the difference between assets and liabilities. We're going to be teaching people the importance of building a passive income. We're going to be teaching people the basic foundations of financial financial liability and how they can utilize loans or debts in their favor, as opposed to it to be crippling them or to be holding them back in life. And then obviously, once they have this financial literacy, EstatetX is the financial literacy is great, but it's not going to put money in their pocket. EstatetX is literally the vehicle now. Now they have that literacy, they'll be more confident to go over to EstatetX. We can show them how to set up a wallet. We can show them how to get into crypto, and then obviously they can start their investments and obviously making passive income and generational wealth. Because as we said before, if you walk out onto the street now and you stop 97% of people, or if you stop 100 people in the street, around 97% of people will not be active crypto investors. So we want to be making sure that our education doesn't just focus on crypto investors. We want to focus on the 97% of the world that doesn't know anything about crypto and give them something that is very, very valuable that they didn't learn into school. And we know that ultimately in the future is going to be amazing for EstatetX, because when they want to actually utilize that knowledge and bring it to life, EstatetX is going to be that platform that's going to be able to do that through fractionalized ownership of real estate. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, moving to my next question. Just to be clear, will people around the globe be able to invest in numerous European portfolios, right? Or there will be some restrictions due to legal ownership rules and regulations? I mean, how will ownership of real estate work for foreigners? Won't they face any legal issues?
Sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I just want to be clear that will people around the globe be able to invest in numerous European portfolios, or there will be some restrictions due to legal ownership rules and regulations? I mean, how will ownership of real estate work for foreigners? Won't they face any legal issues?
No, because we will probably we will start in Europe. We have 4 phases actually on which we want to expand to. So in a matter of time, we want to go globally. The beautiful thing about this is once we got applied by the financial supervisor in Luxembourg by a so-called European passport, we can already offer our services in the whole of Europe. So that means that we can market into Europe. The beautiful thing about it is that foreign investors are allowed to invest in our investment opportunities already. So you as a foreigner, for example, in I don't know, let's say you're in the Middle East and you're already allowed to invest into a European fund. So that is no issue. We're going to expand marketing-wise in 4 phases to the whole of the world, but we will start our service in Europe.
All right, got it.
Things to add to that as well is, because you're in essence you're owning an NFT. You're not investing in the physical property, although it's representative of that. There may be opportunities as well in different countries, because ultimately you're buying an NFT that's generating you revenue, as opposed to necessarily directly investing in a property.
All right, understood. Thank you. Thank you for answering my questions.
To Crypto Elite, you had a question for EstatetX. Team, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Glenn. And to the team from EstatetX, thank you for this explanation. But my first question is, you mentioned that the business is a registered business, right? So I want to know under what jurisdiction or what country are you registered in, and where is the head office located?
So we're registered in the Netherlands. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I had the problem like I think 5 minutes ago. Nobody heard me. Anyway, so we're registered in the Netherlands, and if you go into the website and you scroll all the way down, you can see the Chambers of Commerce number. You can look it up, so everything checks out.
All right. Now my second question is: do you have a specific countries or location where you would prefer your investments or maybe assets to be located?
So we're going to be starting obviously in Europe as our home territory. It's the market that we know best, and it's the one we're most familiar with. We're going to be looking obviously very selective in the properties that we take on to ensure that they are solid investment opportunities that give a good return for our investors. But again, we're looking to scale that very quickly internationally. And we can do that with the hybrid model of both purchasing properties ourselves for the community and with the support of the community, but then also through third parties who want to bring their property portfolios into the EstatetX community, tokenizing them and making those investment opportunities available.
Okay, okay. Now, my next question is, from your explanation, you made mention of maybe being able to pay with maybe some kind of virtual card or physical card, right? So are you diversifying into a payment platform? Like in the future, is that on your plan?
Yep. So our plan is to make the ESX token as liquid as cash. We're going to focus obviously on our specialities and what we do best, which is real estate investment. So the DeFi off ramp is going to be a feature of that that is exclusive for the ESX token holders. Potentially in the future, nothing's impossible. Whether we look to become a multi-platform, a multi-token payment provider, that's yet to be seen. But as the current roadmap and the current plans, it's very much focused on enabling that for our token holders.
All right, all right. Next, I want to know if there is okay, total token supply, and you mentioned two type of token. So, like the investors now, are they going to buy the two at the same time, or I don't know? Please throw more light in that.
Sure. So there's the two tokens are, so the first token that we'll describe is the Proplex token. And so this token represents your ownership of the physical asset. So as I said, with a building of $1 million, that would be split up into 10,000 Proplex tokens. And their value is secured against the real world value of what that property is. The second token that we have is the payment token. And this is what's available in the pre-sale. And this is really the lifeblood of the EstatetX ecosystem and what makes everything flow. And it's this token that, for example, the rent will be paid when we receive that. We'll be paying to the Proplex token holders the rent in ESX. Similarly, once we are fully registered and regulated with the necessary authorities, you will be able to purchase those Proplex tokens with crypto, with fiat, or the ESX. So it's the ESX will then be on the market, and that will be subject to the market forces, supply and demand, and which will be looking to push from ATH to ATH.
Okay, okay. Now I understand. My last question, please. You make mention of an SPV, special purpose vehicle. For I think Glam asked a question as Glenn rather asked a question as regards your security or will I say guarantee or insurance, and then when you were trying to explain it, you made mention of SPV, special purpose vehicle. So my question is that some kind of insurance for these properties?
The SPV is there for the security of the investors, so that in essence the NFT holders own the property, as opposed to it being owned by EstatetX, who can, well, we're not going to, but it prevents us from doing anything untoward with the properties. We're purely the administrator of that SPV. It's there, as said, to protect the investors, and there'll be one set up for each property that's brought into the ecosystem.
Okay. No. My question really is there any form of insurance for these properties? Like,
yes,
anything can happen, you understand, natural disaster or whatever, we don't know, we don't predict it, but
absolutely, and that's all factored into the cost, so there's no surprises for the investors. So things such as insurance, maintenance, operational costs, we factor that in and we take out all the hassle. So unlike traditional property management or property ownership, where you have to deal with all these different things, that's something that we will have handled by asset management, so that the investors don't have to worry and there are no surprises later in line. What we're also looking to do is to put in place insurance wraps around the properties. So this means that if the property is empty or vacant for a long period, so if the property is vacant for long periods of time, the rent and the income that's to be received is protected, and our investors will still receive that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Your project is quite an interesting one. I wish you the best, and I'm praying I'll get on board to myself. Thank you very much, Glenn John, and thank you to the team from EstatetX. Thank you.
Crypto Elite for the questions. Let's move to Venice. You had a question for the EstatetX team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Glenn. I want to know that will you guys sell the property if all investors of that specific land requests you to, so they can get their profits at once and eventually? So do you guys have any plan for that kind of situation?
Sure. As we said, we're building this project for the community and for the investors. So ultimately, we will get to the point where the property and the decisions around the property is controlled by the DAO. And so if the majority of those Proplex token holders want to sell the property and realize the funds that way, then we will follow that. However, the reality is we don't need to sell the property. If someone wants to get out, they can simply sell their Proplex token and their fractional ownership on the secondary market and take the benefits there.
Okay, that's really awesome. And I read about a use of ESX tokens that we can use them for paying movies, clothes, and renting holiday homes. So will it be specific for some physical shops where we can buy clothes or grocery, or will your payment method integrated into the well-known e-commerce websites, or you will have plan for your own websites where people can buy these kind of things?
Yeah, so that is the plan. The plan is to make it an accepted means of currency. So, like I said, we're already in talks with big energy companies who seem very interested. We want to make it an accepted means for your clothing, for your groceries, for your utility bills, your car bills, for example. So we're already in talk with some kind of web shops. I don't know if we're going to make our own e-commerce companies. That's not in the plan right now, but it's an interesting feature. But yeah, we're already in talks with making an accepted means of currency for your daily expenses. So yeah, we want to do it as well as physical through your debit card that we're going to enable. But at the same time, online at web shops, we want to make possible that you can spend your ESX, and that is really what makes this project so interesting. Is that you can you sell your Proplex tokens, so your real estate investments, you can make that liquid instantly. And thanks to our payment token, that enables the whole instant liquidity. You can literally pay with your real estate investments. So you can put your money into real estate, which is the biggest industry of the world, get a return, make a passive income, and at the same time be able that if you want to buy your groceries and you need cash now, like in a minute, you're able to do that thanks to ESX.
Yeah, and you mentioned about utility bills. I think there is separate company for like electricity or gas in every country. So to talk with all those companies and get your token integrated with them as well, it will be really difficult for you guys. So how do you plan to cater these kind of situations?
Again, this will be working with payment providers, so the likes of people like Visa or MasterCard, who already have that infrastructure in place, so that payments can be made very simply and easily, just as you would any other sort of payment card.
Okay, and I also want to know which investors will have an access to the courses, and you have mentioned about your courses on your website and white paper, and I was wondering, will these courses would be recorded, or there will be live class where people can come and join the session to learn about investment strategies and about crypto?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I was saying that I want to know which investors will have an access to the courses, like educational courses you have mentioned on your white paper that people will get, to have an access about uh, for the educational courses, and you will teach them about investment strategies. So I was wondering, will these
Yes.
courses would be recorded, or they will be live classes where people can come and join the session to learn about these things?
Okay, good question. You'll be pleased to know it's both. We're going to have pre-recorded sessions because obviously we appreciate everybody's time. Everybody's busy, so people like to learn at their own pace and do things in their own time and their spare time and their own convenience. So there'll be bite-sized videos where you can log into your own dashboard and you can watch and you can monitor your progress in your own pace. But then we also are definitely going to be having AMAs. We're going to be having podcasts. We're going to be having live streams as well. So all of the above.
Okay, and one last thing, I'm asking too many questions. Like in a real world, yeah, like in a real world, we can get the loans on our lands. So how will EstatetX manage this? I mean, what will be the maximum amount of loan one can get on the land? Will it be less than the amount of his part of land? I mean, will it be equal to the worth of the land he owns, or it will be less than that?
We're looking at someone will be able to release 75% of the value of their Proplex token. So that would be instantly, and it would be permissionless. So as long as they have that Proplex token, which represents the underlying asset in the property, they'll be immediately able to release 75%. If you think with mortgages as well, when you have a property, you need to put down 30 or 20% in order for you to get the balance as the mortgage. So similarly, there needs to be some capital left in there in order for us to release that.
Okay, that's a really great. Having real life utilities in a crypto project, it's really awesome. So you guys are really doing great job, and thank you so much for answering my questions.
Okay, let's move on to Isaac Ice. You had a question for EstatetX. Team, go ahead.
Yes, I do have questions. And my questions are related to the educational part of this project. I heard you explaining that you have a record section and a video section. But most times I wonder, there are some disabled persons. I mean disabled, I mean the ear impaired, that's those who cannot hear and those who cannot speak, deaf and dumb. Have you ever thought like making a sign language video so that this ones too can also benefit from the education you have to offer on your platform?
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely thought about that. We've obviously thought about that not all countries speak English as well. So we definitely want to be having language translations. We definitely want to be having subtitles. And then we also want to be having sign language translations on there as well. So they can have that option if they want to have a sign language version.
Okay. And again, would there be a fee at a point in time that one can pay without holding on to your token? Maybe the person just want to benefit from the educational program and don't want to hold on to your token, but just want to learn. Is it possible to pay a particular fee to gain access to the education?
No, it wouldn't be a fee. We are. There's two education programs and two different kind of like sectors. So one sector is teaching you how to learn about EstatetX, real estate investment, fractionalized property ownership, your investment strategies, how to utilize instant loans, how to double, triple your portfolio. All of that is real estate based, and all of that is EstatetX based. So you'd have to be an EstatetX token. You would only be interested in that if you owned EstatetX tokens. If you had no EstatetX tokens, you don't need to know or learn how to make the best out of a profitable EstatetX platform. Then the other one is going to be more for worldwide. We're teaching financial literacy, teaching the importance of passive income, the difference between an asset and a liability, and things like that. So the financial literacy course that will be available for everybody. We will not be charging for that. That will be for free.
Okay. And lastly, would the educational program have stages whereby you graduate from a particular stage to another stage?
Yes, definitely. We're going to have modules and we're going to have progress as well. So there's definitely going to be like more for, you know, the beginners parts, the intermediate parts, and the more advanced parts as well. So we'd be, you know, we want to be having people progressing through the modules, logging into their own dashboard. They can monitor their own progress. Hopefully they'll be able to actually unlock some rewards and achievements when you complete a certain module. And definitely at the end, you would want to give them some sort of certificate as well, and recognition that they completed the whole module and they completed all of the course.
That's really awesome. I love the project. I wish you
Thank
guys
you.
all the best.
We love you guys. Appreciate that. Thank you. We hope to see you at the pre-sale.
So real. Thank you.
We've got one question left, so we might as well just take that at the end here. Eunice Tope, you had a question for EstatetX. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello guys. Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, I actually love your project, but I would like to talk about your NFT. You know, one of the reasons popular NFTs like Bored Ape, Yacht Club, I've seen adoption has to be because seems like the exclusive access holders get to some services. So I would like to know, do you intend to have similar exclusive community access to people who hold your NFT?
So did you say, what was that last part? Community assets?
I said, do you intend to have similar exclusive community access to people who hold your NFTs?
100%. We've already actually, if you go over to the Telegram and look at the last few pinned messages, you'll see not just the designs of the NFTs and the functionality and the innovative nature about how you can collect it and build your own skyline, but also it shows you the use cases, it shows you the utilities, it shows you the perks, it shows you the bonuses as well. So the more rare your NFT, the more use cases, more utilities, the more perks that you have. So for example, you know, the first couple of pre-sales sold out within minutes. This NFT will allow you to get to the pre-sale, you know, an hour before, so that you can guarantee your tokens. You'll also be put into an exclusive group of just NFT holders where you can actually network and obviously talk. And then also that group may actually have first announcements or be used as a focus group as well. So, you know, we have a select group of ambassadors at the moment where if we have an idea, we have an angle, we want to maybe want to actually get our community's opinion first before we actually launch it to the general public. So people part of this exclusive group will not only have the perks and the utilities of the NFTs, but they will also be given access and actually be given, we'll be asking their opinions of certain things that we're going to be planning with EstatetX before we actually release it to the main community. So there's going to be lots of great, exciting benefits to being an NFT holder.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we've run out of time here today, but it's been great speaking to Bart, Thomas, Ronnie, and Steve from the EstatetX project. So investors, if you want to check out the website, the Telegram, the official Telegrams in our main chat there, for you to get over there and ask questions in the future. Do you open the VC sometimes, guys, for people to come in and have a chat?
We are actually going to start doing that. We're well, you're actually going to get an exclusive now. So we're going to announce it tomorrow, but we may as well make the time to announce it now. We're going to be doing our first AMA, our first official EstatetX only voice chat. That's going to be held at some point in the afternoon UTC on Monday, the 2nd of May. As you know, on Monday, the 2nd of May, we're launching the third round pre-sale at 6 p.m. UTC. So we are going to be having a voice chat early afternoon, maybe around about 2 p.m. UTC, because at that time, people always want to open their accounts. They might, you know, might not be able to understand the KYC process, even though it's very simple. There may be some errors, so we have a team of mods ready. But also, people can jump in the live chat. We can ask, you know, we can talk them through certain things as well. Because when somebody has a question, most likely a lot of other people has a question. We want to give as many people as possible the chance to be able to jump into this pre-sale. So if you guys are interested, definitely go over to the website right now, www.estatex.eu. That's www.estatex.eu. fill out your name and email, sign up to the whitelist. Very easy, it takes 30 seconds. The whitelist is limited, but we have it open this evening because obviously we have a couple of AMAs, including your great community. We want to make sure that everybody, especially, we appreciate you staying on here for over 90 minutes. We want to make sure you get a whitelist spot. So go to the website now, sign your name and email address. You should hopefully get an email confirmation that you've been signed up to the whitelist. Then whenever you get a chance tonight or this weekend, do your KYC. It's very secure, takes less than 5 minutes. You should be approved in 20 seconds, and then you're good to go. Then always say just set a reminder. We have calendar reminders in the Telegram group, so you can click a link and it'll just sync to your calendar. So you get reminded 10 minutes before the launch, because as we said before, guys, the round 1 and round 2 sold out in literally 3.5 minutes and 2 minutes. So we really do think that there's a very good chance that this could be the same. So if you are ready, just be there 5 minutes before, so that as soon as the clock hits 6 p.m. UTC, you can secure and guarantee your EstatetX tokens, because we have massive future expansion plans. Round 4, the tokens are going to be 20% higher. Round 5, even more. 6, even higher. So we're still in the very, very early stages. You have the chance to get in on this amazing project at the ground level, and we're going to be part of history, and we want as many people with us as possible. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. And go into the last pre-sale round. Is that going to be on Pink Sale, or and what's the sort of timeline for the launch? Yeah.
So we do have some launch pads that we are in talks with at the moment. So we can't really say too much now, but it's looking strong. And we do have some top tier exchanges as well that we're going to be launching with. The launch plan, we're looking at the end of Q2, all going well. So that'd be the end of June is the plan. And at the moment, we're on track for that. So it's all looking good.
Great speaking to you guys. Like I say, anyone listening back to the recording, we can get you, if you're asking the main chat, safely over to the official Telegram. We always say at the end of each AMA, do your own research, check the white paper out on the website, go and join the community. And yeah, our AMAs are only for educational purposes. But EstatetX looks like it's going to be a huge project this year on the BSC. So I'm looking forward to the future for you guys, and take care. Yeah.
Thanks, Glenn. Really appreciate
Thank
that.
you very much.
Thank you, man.